Gearbest have kindly sent me an inducted fan quad from a company I've not reviewed for before, which is JXD, and this is called the Invaders. The pushing on the front that you can actually fly it with a tablet or obviously with your phone as well. It says phone control up here, and all the sort of 3D flips and such like we'll run through when we're doing the review. On the side, it's then again also giving you call outs on exactly what the app does. And on the back you get the other colour, so it comes in blue or green, and also you get a transmitter with it as well, so that's really good. So you can then fly just FPV but use a proper transmitter. Tends to be the way I would prefer to fly, but you don't have to carry the transmitter with you and you could still fly this quad, so that's quite handy. And then on the other end we've got the QR codes, and then obviously just showing again with the Wi-Fi app and your transmitter. And then on the back we've got all your warnings as per normal. So let's get this open and have a look inside. And it's really well packaged up, moulded plastic there, holding it all in position. Nothing's going to get damaged. I mean, that's really well done. Let's get this out on the bench and have a look. And there it is, that's everything out of the box, and it's really black as you can clearly see. And most peculiar setup, they've actually given you sort of spare prop guards, which I've never had before, and you get 4 of those. I thought they were pretty difficult to break, and quite unusual to get them, but hey, they're in there, so that's cool, I guess. You get a set of 4 spare propellers as well, and as you can see they're tri-props as well. The actual quad itself is really smart looking. The measurement on the diagonal is 118mm and it's 82mm in motor centre to motor centre that way as well, sort of thing. Smart looking quad. I've popped the battery out just to have a look at it, and it's a 2-cell and it's 350 milliamp hour, so it should give us a little bit of power there. I'm just going to pop it on. It's only got the storage charge on it at the moment, and as you can see you've got blue LEDs at the front and white at the back, and I think you'll be able to see them more or less from anywhere around, but they're not out on the legs, as you can see. Talking about the legs, it's very much a sort of crossbar effect going on there, and they feel really strong. Everything is nice and solid on it, so should take a fair old impact if you wind up being in that situation. The other thing, it's got little tiny sort of rubber landing feet there, so when it comes into land it shouldn't damage anything when it comes in. And of course these inducted fan props are completely covered, so nothing should get damaged as it hits anything. To charge the battery you get a little USB adapter, either mains your computer or in your car you could do it, and that charges through the balance charger port. And we'll have a look at that when we actually get it on charge. And you get the little Wi-Fi camera there. There's no onboard storage, there's no micro SD to put on there. You will store it back onto your phone or your tablet. And the camera is, you can adjust the angle of the camera, which is quite good, so you can have it pointed straight down if you like, or you can just leave it at a slight angle if you prefer, so it's up to you. And it's a tiny little lens in there, so I would imagine it's not going to be great quality, but it's it's there, and you're getting a bit of recording, and also you can fly sort of FPV with it as well. The actual transmitter just seems a mismatch in colours, to be perfectly honest. I don't know why they've put turquoise on here and blue on there, unless this is the one that comes with a green one as well, but then it doesn't really match up to any of them, but yeah. It comes fully assembled actually, so your phone holder's here all ready to go, and I have put the batteries in, and interestingly this is the first quad I think I've ever owned that hasn't come with a little mini Phillips screwdriver, and you need one to undo this screw here so that you can put the 4 AAA batteries that you need for the transmitter, and it doesn't come with those, so you've got to make sure you've got those. And then just pop that on just so you can have a quick look, and you've got a little LED there, and then up and down on here to bind it to the quad when it's all ready to go. To charge the battery you do have to remove it, or you could actually leave it attached. It might actually take the battery bay out. It just literally slides and comes out through these slots, and then it's on a hinge at this end, and it's quite a reasonable sized battery bay. You can get in and out quite easily, and then you do have access without taking the JXD plug apart there for the battery, how it powers up. You could actually just charge it from there. Personally, I'd rather actually just sort of take it out, I think, and then get it on charge. And it charges, like I say, through the balance charger port. Simply plug that in and then plug the other end into your computer or your mains adapter. So a quick look at the manuals, and yes, there's two manuals, and I'll explain why I think this second one's come out. The first one and the major one is really good. All the first part of it is all in English, and then the second part's all in Chinese. So I like that because you're not struggling with two sets of text everywhere. So really nicely done, nice and clear call outs. Even if you're new to flying, this will help you through. It explains all the functions and everything, and what everything does. Really well done. The usual sort of layout and graphics. But if you're new to this would help a lot. And there's the bit that goes on to the app, and I think they've changed the app because the graphics and everything are all different on this. I'm going to try this one first of all because there wouldn't be any other reason for them to put it in here. So I think they've just upgraded that and not changed the manual. And then any problems, helps you how to sort it out. And then the last thing you've got is an exploded view of all the parts, which is really handy. If you've damaged anything, you need to order anything, you've got them there. Onto the app that we're going to use when we're flying, and all Chinese on one side and all English again on the other, which is really nice. So there we go, all bound up. I've got the FPV on, and as you can see, not too bad. Let's just see. Hey, not bad actually. That is quite, yeah. Hey, got a good FPV. I've got all our controls up here. I've done a complete separate video on how to use the apps on these sort of things, so I'll put a link down in the description for it. We're just going to start recording it, record back onto the actual phone itself. And to start and stop with this one, you've got this one here, so that starts the motors, just so you can see it. There we go, so you press the button and it starts it. Then to take off, you just simply use the throttle. Actually, that is nice and clear, actually. I'm not usually very impressed with these Wi-Fi ones, so that's actually pretty good. Whoa, that is lethargic. That's at full pitch. Mind you, that's in low rate, so... Whoa! Yep. Nice. You're not going to do any damage with these things, are you? They're superb. Really nicely protected. I'm really impressed with this Wi-Fi. Right, okay, so let's put it up in, so that's low rates and that's high rates. Make a terrific amount of difference. Yeah, it's actually, it does make a little bit of difference, sorry. Hey, that's some sort of funnels. The actual altitude holds really good. And great for selfies, look. Well, not that I really want a selfie of me, but there we go. Yeah, that's really smart. That is, I'm impressed with this FPV on it. I'm usually not. Not exactly a challenge for something so small to go through there, but hey ho. There we go. It's a nice little flyer, and we got third rates as well, so I forgot about that. Wait, now that's a bit better. Yeah, that's good. That is really nice. Hey, you could take the prop guards off and lose a little bit of weight, and it's, oh, I'm just sorry, I'm so impressed with this Wi-Fi on it. I always find it difficult with Wi-Fi if I haven't got goggles on. But actually, you could try this with goggles. I might give it a go, actually. Nice little fly. Okay, it does flips as well, so flip buttons here. Hey, not a bad little flip. Hey. And sorry, the rates changes are here, and it's got the 3 rates, and it's cyclical. So if I press it again, it'll beep once, and then we're down in low rate. So here we go. Whoa. Jump out the way in slow motion. Honestly, it's like watching Mission Impossible. Whoa! And then second rates, a little bit better. So this is great for beginners. I mean, you're totally protected with this thing as well. And then up into high rates, and it starts to really get a mover. Let's give it a bit of a range test. So I know over there, oh, and I can use the FPV. I'm liking this a lot. Over there it's about 30 meters. Ooh, are we losing it? Yeah. There we go.
So easy does 30 metres. I'll see what it'll do 50 metres. Well, let me show you the landing before we run out of battery, but we haven't had flashing LEDs or anything yet. Altitude hold's working pretty well. It's just start climbing a wee bit, but it sort of stabilises, so it should be fine. I'll just bring it round here and we'll just land it over here. So you press this button here to land, and you can still control where you're going to go with the direction one here. I'm going to stop the video and then start it again. Actually, should we take a still with it first of all? Let's take a still with it. So get it going. So you start the motors there, up and away. And the still will be exactly the same as taking a screenshot from, or sorry, a still image from the actual video. So, but we'll just do one just so we've got it. Oh, lovely, lovely. And I'm going to put the video going again because I just really like that video. I mean, the quality is not going to be great, but for what it is, I'm impressed so far, I must admit. So let's just try this on range, shall we? Seeing as it's doing everything else pretty damn good. I'm so impressed with this FPV. Goggles on next for the next flight, I think. So I know this will now be 50 metres. If it will reach. I have done a test with it, it will just drop if it runs out. If I kill the transmitter. That is 50 metres. That's more than enough. Gee whiz, that is good. I can't actually test it any further unless I go diagonally down the other bit of the garden. Look at that FPV, superb. Yeah, see me coming back. That's the only problem, I can't tilt the camera upwards. I need it tilted upwards when you pitch forward because you've always faced down. As you can see there, let me just show you. If you're new to FPV, oh well, we've got flashing LEDs there, so we're on low battery warning. So as soon as I pitch forward, of course the camera's going to point downwards, and on like the FPV racers and stuff like that, the camera's tilted up quite a bit. There we go. So that's us gone. So that was really impressive flight. I don't know about the length of it, but the actual flight characteristics of it are lovely. Really nice. Yep. I'm going to pop this in. I've got a little sort of goggles thing, and I'm going to put this in there and actually fly FPV with it. See how we... Okay, so I'm on, flick the app on, and just going to start recording. And if you know the channel at all, you know I'm not usually that good with these apps, but we'll give it a go anyway, and just see how we get on. I've done a video on how to actually use these apps. I'll put a link down in the description. So they're all pretty much the same, to be honest. So we're up and away. Also find with these apps, depends how slippy your fingers are and everything, and gee whiz, that's at full pitch. I think we're going to up the rate, so up the rate's a couple there. So let's say that's better. It's not too bad actually. But I mean, the nice thing is about this thing is you can just sort of, you know, you could do your selfie if you wanted to. It's not a problem. It's quite a good little thing. Let's try headless. So that should, yep, so forwards is always that way, backwards that way, no matter what way the quad's facing. And I'm actually going to try it on the gyro now. I usually don't do very well on the gyro, as anyone who's familiar with the channel will know, but I've heard that if you use headless, and I know it's in headless because it's got these flashing LEDs now, hopefully you can see that, and it should Yeah, so it is actually quite a bit easier actually by using headless. Oh, it does get a bit of a move on. Perhaps it's just my... Yeah, no, that's pretty fast. That's cool. I forgot I've still got the gyro on. So I'm going to turn that off now. And turn off headless as well, and then we're back into normal control. And then I'm just going to press the stop button. Let's see what that... Yeah, it brings it into land then, so that's good.
Let me show you the goggles that I used. They're really cheap ones. Got them in a local shop. They're under £10, about £7 I think they were actually. They're 3D ones, so you just pop your phone in the front here. Oh, there we go. And then you have to put the obviously the app onto the 3D setting. But if you just had normal goggles, they would be absolutely fine. You don't need the 3D at all. It didn't give any benefit at all. Actually, I would have preferred it without. But literally, that got me flying full FPV. Pretty impressive, I would say. So onto the quad and the actual transmitter itself and everything else on it. Really enjoyed it. Absolutely great fun. Nice thing with if you're going to fly with goggles or if you're just new to flying, this thing is fully protected. I've bashed this around quite a bit, not even a mark on it, and it hasn't popped anything off or damaged anything. It's really well made. I was surprised at the camera. I mean, it's never going to be great quality with what it is, but it's really good. It did a superb job. The Wi-Fi was awesome. It's the best Wi-Fi system I've come across, I think, bar none. I think I might be corrected on that. This is a YouTube channel, somebody's bound to have an opinion on it, but to be honest, the fact I could fly goggles FPV with something of this size and price, I was amazed at. Having said that, slight negative and nothing unusual with quads of this size. When you actually yaw a bit or do anything, the controls sort of click in. There's no smoothness like you would get with a bigger quad or a racer or anything. You don't get that silky smooth move. When you're flying line of sight, it looks like it's flying like that, but it's not. It's actually sort of clicking round, or almost when it starts, it just judders sort of thing, which is not the end of the world, because like I say, if you bump into things, it will just bounce off anyway, so really good. All the functions worked really well. It's quite simple to run actually, and you can trim it up as well if you needed to. I haven't needed to do anything with it. Transmitter was superb. I managed to get it to drop out of range when I flew one side of the house to the other using the FPV goggles, which was no surprise. Our house is really old and the walls are really thick, so it kills any signal. So I wasn't surprised at that. And I actually got just over 100 meters. I could measure it, and it didn't drop out. And when it does drop out, it just literally falls slowly to the ground. It doesn't suddenly kill it, which is rather good sort of thing. So perfectly safe. Then you've got to go and find it. That's the problem. It is quite small to find if it's in long grass, but absolutely superb. The holder for the phone worked really well. It's quite stiff enough to even to hold my phone. It was absolutely great. The controls are lovely. This feels good in the hand. For what it is, I think it's a superb little quad. The rates are all totally different. So first rate, if you're new to flying, is really slow and just lovely. So it's nice and smooth and you can really get into it. Pop it up into intermediate, gets a bit better, and even in third rates it's not that anxious, to be honest, but it's for a beginner you'd be well impressed with it, I'm sure. Yeah, huge Tigger's paws up on this one. I love it.